All right, guys, welcome back. So let's have a look at OKLO, SMR, NNE, and all these like nuclear names that we were talking about pretty much essentially since the beginning of the year. If you go back to the channel, January 4th, this is pretty much where we started talking about NNE, OKLO, SMR, and there was LTPR as well, I believe. Let's go through all of them. So let's start with OKLO. So OKLO year to date, 649%. Yesterday it had a little bit of a down day, and I was speculating a lot on Twitter too, where yeah, this could have gone to absurd levels, but it didn't squeeze as big of as clean as I thought. But this is a pretty epic squeeze considering where it came from. It had pretty big base right there, and then pretty much as soon as it broke that 55, and then it's been consolidating between 55 and 85, 84, and then from 84 breakout we went to 145, and then we consolidated here after pullback as well, and then broke out from 145 to all the way 193, the highest print. So this purple line here is closing OPEC's closing price. So option expiration pretty much over for the monthly of October. So now going into November, so far I'm expecting some weakness if we're gonna see more profit takers. I have already shown you guys the trades like large clusters, dark pool, big orders, and I was sharing it for members too, but I want to go through it quickly too here. So anytime I see large blocks getting dumped at highs, again, I'm cautiously considering them as profit taking, and it takes some time for the stock to resolve lower or higher. If it's a dip buying opportunity and if people were pretty much buying, yeah, it can push higher. Let's assume that right there, I mean, we don't have to assume it, but right there, number one printed, and we saw a pretty big drop. And then these orders came in, and I thought that this is in a topping stage right there. And if it rolled over, again, price has to trade below these blocks prices in order to consider them the chart bearish. So if let's say price traded right there, I would have thought, okay, so these were all sellers. Now I'm assuming that the stock could go lower. But number 4, number 5, number 3 orders, large blocks came in recent days, October 20th, even I'm seeing 406 million size, 2.5 million, and then before that at $174, same amount of pretty much dollar amount was dumped, 404 million, and then number 4, 397 million. So these are large clusters. I think these were all profit takers, and at some point this will be pulling back more. And for me, very ultra short term moving averages are 5-day, 20-day, and then below these levels I'm going to be watching 50-day simple moving averages. So far stock below 5-day, so I'm going to be watching this gray line and essentially this 5-day moving average as my resistance level. So if stock price tries to test the 5-day, just like yesterday, it opened higher, tried to push higher, and then pretty much sold off pretty hard, and then tried to go back up, and then at the end of the day sold off again. It's not super bearish candle, but it's still bearish candle, right? So there are 5 bearish candles, 5 bullish, 5 neutral. So based on a daily, we can consider this yeah, but pretty much not as strong, but decent bearish candle. Okay, so typically the very strong bearish candle is the strongest one is, I think, the one that opens and closes, pretty much opens and just straight goes down and then closes at lows, and it doesn't have any wicks. That would be a very strong one. But so far we do have wicks. It did try to go higher, and then the buyers tried to come in, and it closed lower. So far pre-market, it is pulling back a little bit. So this is what I'm watching for OKLO. Essentially my price target going into the next option expiration. At some point it tests 50-day moving average. At the moment it's 1010-ish area. So moving on to SMR. This is, on the other hand, is not as strong as the leader OKLO, but it's still tried to take out of this high right there, and it was kind of like fake out, and then it just straight slammed back down. You can see what I was watching. I was watching like this trend line, and I was thinking that if it cracks these levels, yeah, that would be bearish all the way to 200-day moving average. So far, yeah, this stock is certainly in a pullback mode. If we take a look at the moving averages as well, the 50-day SMA at the moment 38. So if it wants to come down to these levels and chop around, then slips below, I would be watching 200-day moving average, and at the same time this like $30 area I would be watching as a possible support, where it was a breakout right there. Now 200-day moving average is right there, and this would be my next area of support for SMR. And same thing, we can take a look at for SMR as well, and I'm looking at last 90 days, but these orders that were coming in on these nuclear names are pretty epic large orders. So large blocks, same thing. Number 1 printed, stock came down pretty big. Number 3 printed, number 5 printed, and stock started pulling back. And I think this stock is in a pretty much reversal as well. If it cracks the 50-day, well, you want to be super careful. At the same time, I have this little trend, but essentially this is 50-day moving average. You can see what a 50-day moving average has been doing. This is the 50-day moving average, moving sideways and kind of like in a downtrend. So price was pretty messy. Tried to break out here, failed. Did try to break out here, failed as well. So we'll see if buyers want to come in and defend this price. They have to come in somewhere around these 37, 50, 40 area in order to maybe form higher highs and pretty much keep this uptrend that we have right here. So that's for SMR, and you guys saw the blocks. I mean, the orders that were coming in, large clusters. In terms of capitalization, SMR is 5.9 billion, or OKLO is 23.5 billion. So another name I want to quickly go through is NNE, which I tweeted, which I traded as well, where, yeah, I think they just took advantage of the hype and pretty much dumped. I think I traded this breakout at 48, and then I got out very next day. I had like $50 calls. It went all the way to 60 bucks. They did an offering, stock came down and then pushed back up, and pretty much trapping a lot of people. So this stock was already, I mean, it wasn't following OKLO at all. It was very messy. But in the beginning of the year, I made pretty decent money on this one as well, trying to trade the breakout. Just like I said on my other videos, I only trade mainly breakouts, breakdowns, and pretty much this stock was, I mean, this is just one of the smallest among nuclear, and again, this is a blank check company as well. 2.3 billion. Just because of its tiny float, I was trading this one. So you got to be super careful on this one as well. It is trying to come down to its 50-day moving average around 40 bucks area. So far below its 20-day and 5-day moving averages. We can take a look at the large orders, blocks, dark pool activity, and all that sizes here too. You can see, yeah, dump which happened somewhere around September 19th. Stock pulls back and then it goes higher. They do offering, I believe, and then I'm not sure if it's registered with SEC. You got to keep an eye on SEC, but large orders were already coming in right there, and I thought, yeah, this stock has a divergence and maybe could have gone lower, but then it just kind of made its way back up on the back of the nuclear hype. And lastly, I was looking at LTBR, like in case if this stock flied, I would have. This is like $778 million company at this price, but you can see how it was trading, essentially pump and dump, and then right here it started making lower highs and pretty much spent quite some time in consolidation, and then with OKLO going crazy, it did made its way back up in a very choppy way. I don't like to trade something like this. Like, it's pretty much Christmas tree up move. So if you take a look at, like, just zoom in, take a look at the range, daily range. Yeah, it was pretty hectic. If you were trying to day trade it or even options trade it, you would have lost money unless you had very, very long dated options expiration essentially. So this stock is relatively holding up better. So if it tries to break 30 bucks, yeah, it might have more gas in the tank. So among all of them, probably NNE and SMR looking a little bit more bearish. OKLO definitely can consolidate and maybe even try to push higher. But again, I think after all these options expiring into that option expiration, I believe pullback weakness will come and the stock will go lower, maybe into low hundreds in the next OPEX. But again, this is just my take. I don't have a position. I don't own any options or shares of these stocks. This is just purely for educational and entertainment purposes only. Thanks for watching. This is the update. Take care. Peace.